Hello. So good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. You are the first of hopefully many.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope so.
um, so, of course, the main reason I contacted you is because of Blood Blockade Battlefront. But before we got into that, I did want to get to know about your music career leading up to that. So, what got you started with music?
Uh, well, I was into different kinds of arts throughout my childhood. I started with dance and theater, and I uh, also played some instruments. And then I had a little phase where I kind of I didn't have enough courage to admit that I wanted to be a musician and be a singer. So I had a little detour and I moved to Austria, which is almost Australia, but not really. And I studied in Vienna, which is actually the city of music. So it's a bit silly, but I studied digital art. And then I built up the courage and I started writing songs and composing my own music to my songs. And then I kind of built up the courage, went back to, first Tel Aviv and then Jerusalem, where I grew up also, and started performing with my own music. And then I also had a music degree. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful. So
my parents.
this has always been in the cards. This wasn't like all of a sudden like, oh, I found myself doing this.
No, I mean, a lot of singers and a lot of musicians started from a very young age. But I had a little a little interesting yeah, the way there was interesting, but then when I finally started doing it, I realized that's what I want to do.
What musicians do you look up to? Like who influenced your style?
Ooh, well, I think there's a lot of, well, first of all, I have ADHD, and so it's a little funny because I can't really listen to music while I do other things.
Oh.
So a lot of the music that I listen to now is because of my husband. He listens to music all the time. And then, so I mean, I definitely listen to music when I'm in the car. I also wrote some of my songs in the car because it's a good way,
Hmm.
like, place. Yeah, I think a lot of other musicians are. I mean, it depends. There's a lot of different types of people, but I know there's a bunch of us who don't, listen to music wherever they go because I have to. If I listen to it, I have to listen to it, and I can't do anything else. Um, so there's but in any case, most of I have a lot of jazz musicians that I really adore, and I love jazz music generally. And also, I had a band called the Hazelnuts. I still kind of have it, um, but we did vocal harmonies, and one of the so we in Hebrew we're called the Hazelnut Sisters because of all of there's the Andrews sisters. They're very famous, and we at after starting we explored the style, and we found a group called the Boswell Sisters, who are from New Orleans, and they are just the most amazing. So they were pretty early on in the 30s, doing their own arrangements, actually, not always credited for it. But they did amazing work with vocal harmonies, and also Ella Fitzgerald was known to admire them, and one of the sisters especially. And so this was like the beginning of the jazz era, and it brought this very special style and sound that we loved. And so there's a lot of jazz in my background, and also the singer-songwriter part of my life. So I really love Tom Waits, for instance, and um, also managed to see him live, which I'm very proud of.
Oh, that's awesome.
I went to the Czech Republic for it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and there's of course, Israeli composers and singer-songwriters that I love, who won't necessarily be known to the English-speaking audience, but yes.
So then what led to you coming to Australia, which is where you are now?
Well, first of all, I'm yeah, there's, as everybody knows, a terrible, horrible war going on in Israel, and Palestine, and I am very much against it. And I spent a lot of my, especially after COVID, where music was gone and we couldn't perform. And I've always been pretty active. I've been an activist for, like political activist. And I went to all kinds of peace groups, even as a teenager. And so that has been also a part of my life throughout my life. And when COVID hit, that because that we couldn't perform, so that went into, I started a music union, back in Israel, and then I started a, movement to advance women in music, and then things, and I also gave birth. I became a mom.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a few years where I was not very active with performing. Also, no one could, and then after everything got back, um, we yeah, there's also been before the war. I'll keep this political part very short as possible, even though this is something. It's how Kekkai Sensen talks about New Jerusalem being on the verge
Hmm.
of hell. So that's actually, it turned out to be pretty accurate. I mean, the war is really hell, and so it became. There was a year of protests before the war started because there was a judicial reform and there was bad things going on. And I was very politically active in the protests, while
Oh.
also releasing a new album, a solo album.
Oh.
And that was pretty crazy and intense. And after, then the war started, and I found out I was pregnant 3 days before that
Oh.
again. And I had a 3-year-old, and everything was crazy and scary. And we were running to the bomb shelter with the kid and being pregnant, and
Oh.
it was very obvious that this is too much for us. And so we escaped. We ran. We got a. My brother lives in Australia, and so
Oh.
we were gonna try and come and live here. We got a visa anyway, so so we got away, and then we decided to stay.
Okay.
And we're very, yeah, sorry, this took a very dark turn. um, the world is very dark right now. And it is actually, interestingly, a lot of what what Kekkai Sensen talks about. So that's also kind of funny and crazy. Hopefully, the good will win. Hopefully,
You're safe,
the
and
good people.
that's
Yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah, but and hopefully the war will be over. That's what I.
That's all we can hope. That's all
Yeah,
we can hope.
yeah,
So, so to preface any Kekkai Sensen questions, I know this was 10 years ago.
yeah.
So if there's
And
something
I
you
have
don't
a very
remember, I
bad
completely get
memory.
it. Yeah, I talked to a lot of people about stuff that's like 20 plus years ago. So I think this is one of the more
Oh yeah.
recent pieces of media I've interviewed for.
Oh,
So,
sure.
yeah. How did you learn about and get the gig for the soundtrack?
So I have a very good friend who's American actually, but studied in Israel, and his roommate is the word, was a lovely Japanese guy, and we all became friends. And he introduced me. His name is Suguru, and he knows Taisei. I'm not sure how, but then Taisei was looking for Hebrew speaking singers,
Really?
and Suguru introduced us. And that's
Wow.
how I got the gig. I mean, he listened to my stuff online, and then, of course, I said, yes, of course. And then,
Wow.
yeah, it was very exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because I'm, a big anime fan. I've never heard a Hebrew song in an anime,
Yeah, I
so I
know.
thought
It's
that was
very
interesting.
special. Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, there's also, I still, every now and then I get tagged in on this, like in YouTube comments, And it's really
Oh,
nice to see, and some people write me, some people, found my website and they wrote me, and everybody's, of course, Israelis and Hebrew speakers are super excited when they hear it. But a lot of people are like, what is it? Which language is it? Is it French? Is it, and then people are like, no, it's Hebrew. And everybody's super, I mean, I guess now, yeah, it's being from Israel, and maybe it's not, people aren't as excited, but it was very, very exciting. It was very exciting for me to get the gig. And I love, I mean, I wasn't, I think I'm too, I mean, I don't know if I'm too old, but I wasn't into anime when I was growing up, because it wasn't really around
right.
that much. But I'm, very much. I mean, I love Japanese culture, and I've even been to Japan twice, and I met Taisei
Oh,
also. Yeah, one of the
oh, that's wonderful.
yeah, the second time was after this whole thing happened, and so we met with him, which was really great. Um, and it was lovely. And we also collaborated on another anime called Spriggan. So this is also Taisei did the soundtrack for that one. I think it used to be um, a TV show, or it used to be a movie, and then they did another um, version. Sorry, my lack of English words. But they did a reboot. Is that what it's called? I mean, they did another version of the show. Um,
Okay.
and then we got to collaborate again, which was really
Really?
cool. And I also connected between him and a few other musicians.
Oh.
Yeah, also a big choir. So I think that
Oh.
soundtrack is super. Yeah, it's really special. I mean, I love his work. So it was really great.
That is awesome. Cause I got in touch with somebody else that was on the soundtrack that's from New York,
Oh yeah.
and he had zero contact with
Ah,
Taisei at all. He did the whole thing through a producer, and the
uh,
producer talked to the Japanese side. So he was
yeah,
just like, he got back to me. He's like, yeah, it was a thing I did 10 years ago. Recorded the song. That was it.
that's it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
gave me
no,
the name. He gave me the name of his producer, and I still have to reach out to him. But
yeah,
I'm gonna probably wait until I'm done with my current project. But we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see if that guy wants to talk. But that is very interesting that
yeah.
you
I think
had communication with him.
I think it's well, I don't know if maybe it's because, I mean, I think from what I know of the American music scene, there's much more like there's a lot of people, like everything is, you have an agent, you have the PR guy, you have the, all kinds of different people in, that you have to go through to get to the artist. And I mean, I'm an independent musician, and I do my own management, so I think everything is much it's very easy to just reach the person. And also I think because we had a mutual friend, that's
Yeah.
why I got to yeah that's why I got to talk to him. And it was really great. And especially meeting him in Japan was really cool. We also went to this big anime conference, um,
Oh.
and yeah, that was super cool. And I felt big in Japan. For a very it wasn't very big, but it was very nice to feel like I'm a part of it. It was great.
That is awesome. So when you got in touch with him, how was the project described to you?
Well, it was pretty. I mean, I think I'm not sure that he even knew that I write lyrics. But then I was like, oh, let me just write the lyrics for this as well, because that's, I'm a songwriter. And he was like, great. So great. So then I did that. There were a few I love writing challenges, and it's really fun. So it was really a cool challenge for me. It was just, like he described what a very general line of the plot is, and New Jerusalem, and it's this light versus dark kind of plot line. um and said, don't use chorus, like, you can't curse, you can't use bad it has to be clean. um and because my husband is a real anime buff, he
Oh.
was like, you should, if you want to be a pro, you should put one, like one catchphrase in English, and the rest should be in Hebrew, because that's all, like anime, like the songs, the theme songs would usually do that. And I was like, cool. So that's, yeah, so that's how I came up with the whole, it's magic. So there you have the little English thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest is in Hebrew. And that was, yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And then I just, I sent it to him. He liked it. It was very easy. It was very nice.
That's great. So I was gonna ask what the communication was like, but it sounds like it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, it was really smooth. I mean, he sent me the chart. I wrote the lyrics. I recorded it. It was very, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wonderful. And where did you record this?
Um, I can't remember. I don't know. It was a studio. I think it was um like a sound studio that I usually recorded stuff in back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate to think of 2015 as back in the day, but
It's back in the day.
I can't. Yeah, I can't believe that's 10 years ago.
I can't believe it's 10 years ago. I cannot. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you're young. I'm I'm in my 40s, man. It's yeah. So I actually can't believe it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. When did you record, if you recall? Was it like early 2015 or late 2014? Or I'm wondering what the turnaround time was between getting
Uh,
that recorded and getting it on TV.
can actually check if you want with our like email
Oh, sure.
correspondence. But I think
Oh,
it was late maybe it was, yeah, maybe it was 2015. I think we started our communication. Oh, I can also see that he bought my oh, that's nice. He bought my Bandcamp. He bought one of my albums
oh,
on Bandcamp. That's the first email I have from him. I didn't even remember
wow.
that. That's really sweet. Thank you, Taisei. Yeah, so we started the whole communication on it was December 2014, and then I think it was like April April 2015 when I got the info about the song, and like yeah, and then probably a couple. I think it was pretty fast.
Yeah, because the show went on the air like pretty soon after, like
Yeah,
within a month
yeah,
is when it debuted.
yeah. I think I mean there's some emails in between, but I think like the first one is December, and maybe the last one for that session until we collaborated again was in April.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Now, have you talked to anyone else that was involved with the soundtrack other than obviously Taisei?
Yeah, I actually haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
No, I haven't. I mean, I obviously listened to the soundtrack and enjoyed it, but I haven't yeah.
Yeah, so one of my questions was if you watched the show, and it sounds like you did. So
Or
what did you think of it?
of course, I loved it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you loved it. Not everyone watches the stuff they're in other than, oh hey, I was in this episode.
Yeah, no, that's a bit silly to not watch the. I mean, everybody to each their own, right?
Right.
Of course, I mean, and also, I love anime, so I mean, I'm not a super. I don't, know everything about everything. Not,
Right.
but I do really enjoy it, and yeah. So we watched it, my husband and I together. It was great. We loved it.
Did you watch the second season as well?
Of
Ends
course,
Beyond.
of course.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that this show is really out there, like even by anime standards, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so cool. It's really nice that I mean, you look like you have a lot of passion for it. So I really appreciate that.
And have you seen the English dub of Kekkai Sensen at all?
I actually have not.
Oh, it's so good. I
Really?
was
Well, I'll watch it. I think, originally what brought me to music is the people. And I've
mm,
always felt like, music, the that old Madonna song, music brings the people, makes the people come together. That,
yeah.
that's really, I know it's, a bit of a tacky line, but it's just, even in these dark times where I find, I mean, I've been completely broken since the war, but it's really about that, and it's so beautiful that, people do things for one another and come together with and through music. I think this is really what music is for, and the whole, even when I studied music theory in uni, um, there's this part about resonance. I don't know if you know this, but the whole way that music moves around and actually works is through, the physics of music, um, is is about resonance and how one, sound wave moves the other one, and that's how sound gets around. And there's this cool experiment that you can do at home where you um, hold a guitar and sing the same note as the one of the strings. And you can, if you hold all of the strings and just leave that one open, and it starts playing just because you sing um the same
Oh.
key as it, like the same pitch. So if the guitar string is E and you sing the same pitch, you sing an E to it, just go whatever. I don't know what E is. I don't have perfect pitch, luckily, because it's a nightmare. But in any case, it starts moving just because you sang to it the same pitch.
Oh yeah.
And when I think this is exactly what. Sorry to get very emotional, but this is what music does to people. You have the song. It just makes the emotion and the thought kind of go from one person to the other, and it moves. Sound can really move a heart and move a person. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about music and about people. So I think it's really beautiful that you're doing this. I think it's
Oh
like a greater part of what music can do. So thank you.
well, yeah. Well, thank you. That's yeah. This it takes me back to watching the show back when it was coming out,
Mm.
way back in 2015, and watching it with some friends. I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot to give me, just to inspire me, and
Yeah.
I'm making the outline right now. I'm still working out all the details, all the dates, all the finer
Yeah.
points. I know the finale of the show took a few months to come out because it was an hour long,
Oh,
and things like that. And I'm sitting here like, it breaks my heart what's happening to Mike. He's only
yeah.
55.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy. That's terrible.
yeah. So did I didn't. Sorry. Next question I had was
Yes.
how has this gig influenced your career, if at all?
Well, I wish I really was big in Japan. I wish I could just, I don't know, go and record stuff there. But sadly that didn't really happen. But I mean, maybe if I, had a a cool, I don't know, big shot agent like your guy in New York, or whoever it was. But I think it kind of works in a parallel universe in a way to my career. Like I didn't see it affect it directly, but I know that whoever watched it and kind of found me through it was very excited, and I was always very happy when people approached me about it. But yeah, I don't think it necessarily, but who knows? Maybe in the future.
It's just a cool thing you did, and
It's
you
so cool.
remember it very, very
It's super
fondly.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool for me to have that in my resume. I really love that.
And then moving beyond Kekkai Sensen and Spriggan, what other media projects have you appeared in since then, like movies, TV shows?
Well, actually, so there's a music for video platform called Artlist. I don't know if you know. I mean, as a video creator, you
Yeah.
know it, I think.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's so they have, I mean, it's a subscription based platform where you subscribe and then you can basically download their whole catalog, and so it's very nice for video creators. um and then they approached me for with the hazelnuts, which, I mean, it's like I'm basically the hazelnuts. So they um another one of those writing challenges. They gave me three prompts and I wrote three songs and we recorded them. And there's one song that became very popular, and it's still like the hazelnuts most popular song on all the like streaming platforms. It's called Tempted. And apparently, so this is a little bit a little bit sad and annoying for me because I mean, they of course paid me and I also get royalties, but I apparently a bunch of very big companies including Samsung took it for their ads. So, but this is like on it's YouTube ads, so they didn't. I mean, in any case, they're allowed to do that. Um, so that was interesting. And also, I mean, and also a lot of like smaller, um, some film creators told me that I've been tagged on a bunch of videos, and a bunch of, actually there's a new one coming out very soon. Sadly, the person who uploaded it to YouTube, I didn't even think about it. I think social media and the business side of things is not really my forte, sadly, but I didn't even think about uploading it to YouTube. And this other guy uploaded it and he got all the hits and all of the um, clicks. But so the current video of it is has nothing to do, like, it has nothing to do with us. It's just some random footage that someone uploaded. But there's another person who is just releasing his version of the video for it, and it's very glamorous and pretty. So I can send you the link for it when it comes out. There's been a lot of, so there's, I mean, I can't even keep track. There's like hundreds of videos and also films and also ads where those songs have appeared on, which is, it's really cool to see that people really like it, and everyone takes it to their own, life and their own use, and that's really cool. And there's been some movies in Israel where some of our stuff has been on. Nothing as cool as Kekkai Sensen. I think that's definitely the coolest one.
That made me think of this. In terms of payment, when you did the Kekkai Sensen gig,
Yeah.
did you get royalties, or how did that work? Was it a buyout?
No, I sadly didn't get royalties, which I'm kind of sad. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not the best businesswoman when it comes to, I mean, but also it was kind of it, I mean, they made it clear from the beginning that that's not going to happen. So I wasn't, it wasn't a ripoff or something. I just knew from the start that that's the deal, and I was very keen. I was really happy to like be, a part of it. So I mean, I did get paid, but I didn't. I'm not getting any royalties. And I think also for Spriggan, for Netflix, Netflix doesn't pay royalties at all, from what I know, still, to musicians.
Okay.
Basically, musicians are never. We're never on the. It's very, unless you're like really big. I guess Beyonce probably gets her royalties.
Yeah.
Um,
And what's in the pipeline for you right now that isn't restricted by NDA?
um, I mean, well, I don't know.
Okay.
It's it's a bit of a strange time for me because we moved here and I have to kind of start over. Um, Not kind of. I mean, I did another project for Artlist. We're just now finishing it with the hazelnuts, and so that's coming out with another collab with a bunch of great musicians. I have that mother's album that I started doing, which is like a children's album but for moms. So it was songs about motherhood, and I released two singles of that. and then the war started and we moved. So I never really finished that project, which was my baby, literally. And I really loved it. But it's in Hebrew, so I'm not sure you can enjoy the. These were poems that I composed music to, so it's poetry, and it's beautiful. So I can, you can listen to it on my Spotify, but it's and other streaming, Apple Music. I'm actually on Apple Music, not Spotify. Um, but I mean, as a listener, I'm hoping to go back to doing some of that things, and then I have to start a new band, start a new life. So I think that's what's going to be next for me.
Get into some wrap up stuff. Anything you want to promote? Like I know you've got a website, but is there anything else you want to promote?
No, I. I mean, okay, I have throughout my, my music career, I had a bunch of very different projects. I had a brass band. I had the Hazel called the Brasserie, and I had I like a rock cabaret band, and everything is available to, like, I put all my old discography up when in 2023 when I did my mother's album. So it's all up to listen to. There's also the Bandcamp page, which is still available. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking this talk with you as like a little push in the, like, hey, go back to making music now, and stop. It's a good time to finish my maternity leave and go back to making music. So I hope I will update you with good news soon.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Thanks.
Hopefully, you get new listeners from people who check out the video,
That would
because
be great.
I'll put your links in the description
Oh, cool. Thank you.
when I do upload it. Anything you want to say to people listening, be they fans of you or of Kekkai Sensen?
Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of hope in this project of, sometimes really cool things can happen even if, when you least expect it, and you can end up singing on an anime. That's really cool. So life is full of surprises, and that's, I think, a nice hopeful message. It could be good surprises. And I want to send a message to the world to stop the hideous war, and yeah, and hope that everyone will find a way to, yeah, peace and love, because really the world is terrible right now.
Yeah.
We have to make it better.
Thank you so much for your time and making this interview
Thank,
work time wise. I know we're
thank
on
you.
completely different sides of the planet.
And thank you so very, very much. And I hope it gets better and everything works out. And
Yeah, fingers crossed.
yeah, and sending lots of love and healing to everyone. And thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks so much, dear. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.